Hi, I'm Daniel and I have terminal brain cancer.
My name's Helen. I work at the Bobby Robson unit, which is a cancer trials research centre, and I work as a clinical trial coordinator, which basically means I help manage and run stuff in the background while the doctors and nurses do what they need to do.
What is biobanking?
Biobanking is where samples that are donated are stored for medical research. This can be tissue, but it can also be like bodily fluids like blood or saliva. And we often ask cancer patients if they can take part in biobanks.
So why are biobanks important with cancer research?
We can use them for looking at genetics and using these genetics to look at targets for developing new drugs. And we can also use them for looking at patterns at different types of cancers and having a look to see if these might happen in certain areas of the country. And then we can have a look at why this might be. But we can also use them to look at different lifestyle factors and whether these might contribute towards somebody developing cancer.
What do you mean by genetics?
Genetics is a study of people's genes, which is written by your DNA. Your DNA is basically the building blocks for what makes you you. So like what colour hair you've got, what colour eyes you have. But it also tells your body how it needs to function. So a good example is telling your stomach that it needs to digest your food. But in cancer, we're really interested in the genetics of the tumour, so we can have a look and see why the tumour is growing so quickly.
Why might I be asked to donate a sample to a biobank?
For biobanks to work properly, we need to have lots of samples from lots of different people. Without the samples, we can't do the research. So you might be asked to donate a sample to contribute to the people who've donated before you.
How does the research help me and others similar?
Cancer is very complex and very clever. By taking part in the research, we can understand the cancer better, but we can also look at developing new and better treatments for it.
What will you do with my samples?
If you donate samples, they will be stored normally in a freezer in a biobanking centre. This could be a university or a NHS building, and they'll be stored there until they're needed for the research.
How long do my samples last?
Different samples last for different lengths of time, and some can actually last for an unlimited amount of time. So it really depends on the type of sample that you're donating.
Do I have to have another biopsy taken?
You can have another biopsy taken, but it's entirely your choice. If you don't want to, then you don't have to.
How do you take part?
So your nurse or doctor might approach you and tell you a little bit about the biobanking research and ask you whether you might be interested in taking part. If you are, they'll give you an information sheet and a consent form, and you can have a read through that and ask as many questions as you want. Just remember that no question is a silly question. It's better to know as much about what's going on as possible. Once you're happy with the answers that you've had and you've had a chance to have a read through everything and you're happy to go ahead, then you can sit down with your nurse or doctor and consent for the study.
Do I have to take part if I'm asked?
Nobody is going to stop treating you or anything like that if you don't want to do it. It's completely up to you.
What happens if I change my mind and I'm not happy about the sample that was put in the biobank?
If you don't want your sample to be used anymore, if you just have a chat with your nurse or doctor and they can let the researchers know, your sample will then be destroyed so it can't be accessed anymore. And this is called withdrawing your consent.
What support is there for me and other people?
So your nurse and doctor will fully support you to understand why you're being asked to donate a sample and what that sample is going to be used for. And if you've agreed to have a new biopsy taken, the nurse and doctor will look after you at your appointment just like they would do for any other appointment.